Yes. All right. We are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to BT Talks episode 6 already. I am with my good friend and colleague, Anca Mirescu. She is Director of Luxury Sales at Elysee Miami and at Douglas Elliman as well. And we're going to talk to you today about the new Miami, Elysee Miami, the Miami market, and a lot of very interesting things. And you'll learn also who Anca is, when she came to Miami, why she came to Miami. And Anca,
okay,
nice to have you on the BT Talks.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm excited to see everyone, even though, just so you know, we can't really see the comments because, well, at least I can't.
Yes. So we're trying to, so those are the little technical things we always have with Instagram Live or anything else, so it's fine. We kind of see the comment, but we'll try to answer any questions at the end. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. So, Anca, tell us a little bit about who you are, when you came to Miami, where you're from, and what makes Miami a very special city.
Okay. I'm originally from Romania, and I first came to the United States a long time ago as an exchange student in high school. After that, I was very fortunate to be admitted to Princeton University, so I went and did my undergraduate degree there, thinking that at some point I would become a career diplomat. But instead, I got a job in management consulting right after college in New York City, and I completely fell in love with New York, and I never, ever thought that I would move out of there.
That's what people think. We come to New York, and then we come to Miami.
Exactly. So I spent about 4 years in New York prior to moving out to California to get my master's degree at the Stanford Graduate School of Business. And then, of course, I went back to New York City, my first love, and became a private wealth advisor at Goldman Sachs. During the 4 or 5 years prior to that, I had traveled to Miami often, and I pretty much fell in love with this beautiful city.
I think it's pretty interesting because we've both met a lot of people, whether they're clients, friends, colleagues, and the background of a lot of people here in Miami is that they lived in cities like New York or Boston, Chicago, even on the West Coast in California, or San Francisco, Los Angeles, or even in Seattle. And people travel a lot to Miami, and at some point, for some reason, they decide to make it their main home because they fall in love with it. And whether it's part of the year or at some point full time. So everybody has a very interesting background who comes to Miami.
Right. So I ended up moving here in 2009, which crazily enough is 11 years ago now. And when I moved to Miami, frankly, my friends thought I was out of my mind. Miami was still very much kind of a sleepy beach town.
That was what, 10 years ago?
11 years ago.
11 years
exactly.
ago.
So
yeah.
In the midst of the financial crisis from 2008, 2009. And Miami was very much a beach town, People didn't think about the arts, even though Art Basel had just come to Miami, which is the event that pretty much put us on the cultural scene.
Art Basel is definitely, when did it come to Miami, Art Basel?
I think it's about 12 years ago.
12 years ago, so that definitely changed the Miami landscape, yeah.
Exactly. But when I moved here again in 2009, we didn't have, the Cultural Center, the Adrian Arts Center, we didn't have the art museums, we didn't have the Science Museum. Miami, when people are thinking Miami, people are thinking pretty much just Miami Beach. Yeah. Nobody really crossed the bridge to come to the mainland. That's changed drastically over the past 10, 15 years. And now Miami is a completely different city. It's become a sophisticated metropolis, really teeming with all of these new neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And we are here in Edgewater, where Elysee is located. It's one of these brand new neighborhoods in the very, very middle of the new Miami, just a few minutes away from Wynwood, a few minutes away from the Design District.
Can you tell our audience what is the new Miami? Like, where is it from and what's happening in the new Miami?
Of course. So what we refer to as the new Miami is essentially the Miami mainland, which again, 10, 12 years ago, didn't have a whole lot going on. Then Wynwood happened. Wynwood is a very artsy neighborhood, which has a lot of art galleries and some of the best restaurants in Miami, and lots of graffiti artists came there. And it felt very much like what Soho felt like probably in the 90s.
It has a mix, I think, Wynwood, my feeling, of like Soho, but also a little bit of Brooklyn.
Exactly.
It has something very unique that people really love. Yeah.
Exactly. Very, very early Soho, not today's Soho, right?
Today is different.
Today is different. Then you have the the design district, which is the new shopping mecca in Miami. Miami used to be a lot more about malls before the design district came about, and now you have all of the very, very high-end fashion brands having flagship stores there. You know, Hermes has a 3-story store. I think it's one of the largest ones outside of Paris.
But I think what I love about the design district, and I think you can agree as well, yes, there's beautiful high-end luxury, you know, brands and shops establishing themselves there, but there's just this aesthetic in this neighborhood, as well as very cool small cafes or restaurants, and it's just very walkable and just relaxing, you know, nice neighborhood. So there's a lot to do. There's, you know, museums as well.
Of course.
There's a lot going on.
And art galleries and so on and so forth, exactly. And then you have this brand new neighborhood which sprouted in the middle of the neighborhood we just discussed, which is Edgewater, which is a neighborhood that is very much, as you might imagine from its name, it's on the water, and you have a number of luxury high-rises that were built in this area.
Yeah.
And Elysee is one of them.
So Elysee, so we're actually right now in the sales gallery of Elysee. Elysee is soon to be completed. When is it going to be officially completed?
So we expect to welcome our first residents this fall. So we're
very soon.
Weeks away.
It's going to come very fast.
It's a very exciting time for us.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about what Elysee Miami is about. You know, the building, the amenities, why it's different from the other buildings, its location. I mean, everything that it offers.
Right. So what makes Elysee really different from all of the other buildings is the fact that it's the first luxury boutique building in this area. So we are in the very, very heart of the new Miami, very close to everything, which is what attracts our buyers to Elysee. But the other thing that is attractive is the fact that it feels like we have essentially 100 single-family homes in a high-rise. We're 57 stories high, but only 100 residences.
So it stays very boutique.
It stays very, very boutique, exactly. And each residence is ultra luxury. Each residence is half a floor, corner, of course. There are only 2 per floor. All of them are flow-through.
And something I think, and you can tell more about it, what is interesting of buildings like Elysee, and there's also some, you know, other buildings as well in Miami, they're kind of like that, but here very specifically, I think you get the best of all worlds because it's boutique. You have 2 residences per floor,
exactly.
Right? And it's also kind of a compromise between, you know, you don't really know if you want a house or you want a condo. You have all the amenities, which is, I think you have a personal concierge and a wellness center, and, you know, it's just fantastic. And something that is just, I mean, for me, every time I'm here, I'm like, wow, is just the views you get from the residences, from the Biscayne Bay all the way to the other side of Miami. But the views is, I mean, you want to wake up to those views, or even, you know, before you go to bed, see the sunset.
Right.
And just having these residences in the sky are just, you know, fantastic. And the value, of course.
And the value, of course. Let's not forget the value, which makes it, you know, particularly appealing for New Yorkers who can believe that you can get a very top luxury product starting at just around $700 a foot.
So that is quite a steal for a new development, high-end luxury. It's a building. The interior design was done by French designer Jean-Louis Degnaud, which you probably know or not about, but his designs are just fantastic. He's done a lot of things all over the world, whether it's residential, commercial, hotels. So that's, you know, that's really...
And just to add to that, Jean-Louis was actually just commissioned to re-envision the residence at the legendary Waldorf Astoria in New York City.
So it makes it quite iconic.
Exactly.
So Elysee is a very, very special building. What kind of people are attracted to live here in this neighborhood and to Elysee?
That's a good question. Lots of cool people.
Lots of cool people.
So we see buyers from everywhere. Geographically, we're very, very diverse. So we have the hyper-local buyers, the Miami buyers who understand how this neighborhood has transformed and how convenient it is to live here. We have buyers who used to live in single-family homes who no longer want to put up with that hassle. But as you said, you know, they want the space that they used to have, but they also want the amenities and the location of a luxury condo.
So what is so there's about 100 residences. What is the size of an average residence? And do they have full floor that go from the bay to the other side, or is it how are they split?
Exactly. So we should walk by the maquette at the end of this, just to give you a sense. Elysee has a very interesting, very much iconic shape in the skyline. So for those of you who are in Miami, I'm sure you've noticed it. You may or may not have known what it is, but the building is telescoping in shape. So it gets larger from the bottom towards the top. So it looks pretty much like
I'll add
this.
something that I truly love about Elysee is that anywhere I go on Miami Beach, whether it's South Beach or even in the north, everywhere I go, I see Elysee, and I always take a photo and I send it to Anca.
And I so appreciate that.
We can see Elysee, but that makes it iconic. You can see Elysee pretty much from almost everywhere in Miami.
Exactly. Exactly. So our residences, since they're half a floor, they get larger towards the top. So we start at around 2,743 square feet, again, on a single floor, and that's just under AC. Once you add in your balconies, which are either 8 or 10 feet deep, so very, very large, you end up with more than 3,000 square feet on one level, which feels massive already. And then as you go towards the top of the building, our largest residences are almost 4,000 square feet.
And what is still available in the building so far?
We still have some availability in just about every floor plan.
Okay.
So feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to send you more information on that.
Yeah. So if you want to know more about Elysee, if you want to know more about Edgewater, if you want to know about Miami, please feel free to reach out to both of us. Make sure also to follow Elysee on Instagram. You can follow Anca as well. She's
Please
a fantastic person. So before we finalize, we're going to do a little tour of the sales gallery just to give you an idea of, how the kitchen is, how the beautiful bathroom is, all the finishes, and I'll let Anca kind of guide a little bit and show us a little bit about that. So it'll give you a little idea. If you guys want any information, you can reach out to us and we'll send you details. But
Ben probably knows as much about the building as I do, so feel free to reach out to him.
Thank you so much. So hold on for a little bit.
While we readjust here.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we are in the beautiful sales gallery,
which I am very, very fortunate to call my office. So over here we have a model of our kitchen. As you can see, the finishes are exquisite, and they're chosen by Jean-Louis. It's pretty timeless.
This is something I truly love. I am someone who loves to cook. When I see this, with gas, it just makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's very rare for Miami condos to have gas stoves. I am not a particularly good cook, don't tell anyone. So I can't quite appreciate it, but all of the buyers absolutely love it. We have sub-zero appliances in here.
As you can see.
Very well hidden.
And look at this beautiful bathroom. The finishes are just, wow. Imagine, taking a bath here.
Yeah, that is quite beautiful. Jean-Louis did this beautiful stripe that goes up and down the wall in marble.
Here we have a very large shower. Do all the units come with a similar bathroom, or there's different layouts?
Yes, the master bathroom looks just like you see it in this gallery in all of the residences. The kitchen has different layouts depending on the floor plans, but the finishes are the ones that you see.
And here we'll show you how the building looks at night. It's just phenomenal. Look at this. It is
phenomenal.
This architecture. Do you want to tell us just a little bit about the architecture? Who's
Absolutely.
The architect?
The architect for Elysee is Arquitectonica. For those of you who are in Miami, again, I'm sure you've heard of them before. They've pretty much re-envisioned the Miami skyline starting in the 80s. They're doing it again with this beautiful Elysee building. Here you can see the telescoping shape that I had mentioned earlier. You can also see some of the amenities that are drawing some of our buyers from single-family homes into Elysee. We have 2 pools, so you can get sun in the morning and in the afternoon. And then this 30th floor is a full floor of amenities. So we have in there a private dining room and a grand salon, so you can throw a party and not put any wear and tear on your apartment. We also have a library, a movie theater, all the bells and whistles.
So here we'll show you a little bit. So this is what? This is the...
this is a reimagination of the owner's bayfront lounge. So this is what the owners will be seeing right before they step out to the pool deck that faces east.
Yeah. And here we'll just show you the maquette. So
the maquette, my beautiful maquette.
We're waterfront, here it is. Look at this beauty.
This gives you a really good sense of the telescoping shape, and I'm happy to report that the building turned out just as you see it here.
Yeah.
It is on 23rd Street, so feel free to check it out.
And we'll just give you, to finish, a little idea of the view. I'm not going to go out because I don't want to lose the Wi-Fi signal.
Right.
But basically, you know, this is the view that you get. We're actually at, so the sales gallery is actually in Biscayne Beach, which is also another very good building here, who's been here for a while.
Which is also done by our developers, Two Roads Development. So
Exactly.
it's the same developer as Elysee, just a slightly different product.
There you go. You get a little idea of the feel for Elysee. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you weren't, if you couldn't, you know, tune in live, the video will be in my IG feed. Feel free to watch it, to share it. And if you have any questions regarding Elysee Miami or anything regarding Miami real estate, please feel free to reach out to me or to Anca.
Reach out to Ben. You'd be in very, very good hands.
Thank you, Anca.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in,
Thanks
guys.
for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.